Hey y'all, welcome back to the Budget Mechanic. I'm so glad you were able to stop by today. For the topic today, we are going to talk about living on last month's income. Now, living on last month's income is a concept that I've heard about. I haven't really implemented before, but I recently did this and holy camoly, was my mind blown on what you can do with your budget when you live on last month's income. It totally changed my perspective. It allowed me to budget for this month in a whole time all at once, and then it allows me to start looking forward to the next month. And if you're on a variable income, it can really help out with that. So before we get into the details on how can you work to live on last month's income, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so that you can be notified of all the new videos that we send out on budgeting every week. So what is living on last month's income? Well, luckily there's no big surprises there. It really means exactly what it says. It means taking the money you earned in the previous month, setting it aside, and then using it in the next month to fund your budget for the month. So any income that I earn in the month of June, then I would set it aside, and then when it comes to July 1st and I want to budget everything, I take my money from June and use that. And then income I get from July, I move it into a bucket waiting and then move it forward. So it really is that simple in concept. Now, getting there can be a little bit more difficult, and there are advantages for variable income as well. So I'm going to go to the trustee monopoly money and our buckets to help show this and how you can do it yourself. Okay. So we're back with our money, and I'm going to show you using the jars how you would start building up for income for next month. So as I said, this is where you want to build up so that you're using last month's income to fund your things in the next month. So if we look at it right now, this is the month of June when I'm filming this. So I would get my paycheck in June. And so, I get my paycheck, and as you know, I budgeted out. So I would put my budgeted money into all of the categories, my budget expenses as I need it. And what I would do is make sure that out of all these, I would also have one that's for next month's income. And it's June, and I would put a little bit of my income in there. Now, we would spend this money, so everything gets spent throughout the month as I continue to go. So for June, I spent all my money. Great. Now July comes around. So July, my paycheck comes, if it's once a month or twice a month bi-weekly. But I come in, again, I do the same thing. I budget out all my money to my categories and make sure that I put a portion of it into my income for next month. And I keep repeating that process until I get to a point where my next month income is the same as what I would get. So let's say I make $5,000 a month. I build this next month's income until it's $5,000. So we've continued that process until we built up next month's income for your entire paycheck. So let's say $5,000. Let's say it took us a year. So it's June of next year. So on July 1st, I would take all of the money that's in my income for next month and take it and use it to fund all of my month out. So I would make sure that I budget everything out right then. And so now for the entire month, now I get to put it all out there. It's all budgeted, every single dollar. Now, while that money has come in, so it's July, I've already budgeted it out, and now it's pay date in July. Now what I do is I take that money in July and put the entire paycheck into my income for next month. So if I'm paid bi-weekly and I get 2 checks that month, I put the 1 check in and it's set aside and I don't touch it. I continue to buy things out of this one, out of my budget, and move money around as I need. The next payday in July comes in, I put all of that paycheck in here again, into my income for next month. And then I continue to do all my purchases in July. Once July is done, so I've made all my purchases and I've got a couple categories that build up. August 1st comes. Now, regardless of when I get paid, August 1st comes, I take the money from my income for next month and I repeat that cycle. So I go ahead and I put all the funding in I need for August. As August happens, August paychecks come in again, put it in this category over here and save it, put it aside, and I use July's money to make all my purchases in August. And I keep repeating that. And that just really frees me up, right? So now I'm not having to figure out, oh, am I gonna fund this one, or I've got to move money from here and then wait for the next paycheck before I do it. Okay, so that's how you can do it. Now, that's a very simple explanation or show of it, but you can do this on an Excel sheet. So you would just have a category of next month's income. And then when you go to budget the next month, you would move that over. YNAB has a very simple way. Now, have a lot of people that are on variable income. And so if you're on variable income, you're not sure what it's going to be because it's dependent on the number of hours you get. Maybe you're commissioned and you want to set that up. So this works really great for that scenario, because then what you're doing is you really do know what you're budgeting on because you're using last month's money. How would I do that? Well, the biggest thing for variable income is figure out what your lowest month is that you get money for, or a very average amount that you could reasonably sustain. So maybe you can sustain $5,000 a month that you can then use every month, or maybe it's 4,000, 6,000. So you have to figure out what you can reasonably expect every month. And then what happens is, again, you put all of your money as it comes in into your money for next month. If it's a month where, let's say you've decided $5,000 is the amount, you get $5,000, use it to put your expenses. Now, if there's a month, let's say here, where you've made $6,000, so what you would do is take that $1,000 extra and move it to another category called deferred income. And basically it becomes the spot where you put all the extra. So that month that you don't make the minimum, you can pull income from here and use it to fund. So let's go through this scenario to make it a little bit easier. So I'm a commission salesperson. I've decided that my average monthly income is $5,000. That's what I can sustain. So month 1 works out. I get my $5,000 in June. I put it into my income for next month, and then come July 1st, I take that $5,000 and I fund all of my expenses for July. And that's what I live on for July. Now my income starts coming in for July. So now I'm going to take that income in July and I put it in, and I get, let's say over the course of July, I make $6,000. So I've put my income for next month here, and I've got $6,000, but I know I want only $5,000. So what I do is I take $1,000 of this money and I move it into this deferred income. I've spent all my money here for July. It's August. I come and I fund this again. The next month is coming in and I get all my income for September, and I only get $4,000. Well, $4,000 is $1,000 short of what I need. because I've decided my basic budget is $5,000. So I would then go over to my deferred income and I would pull that $1,000 out into my income for next month and then use it to fund all of my categories and keep repeating the cycle. So, I mean, I could have many months in a row, say 3 months in a row where I'm making $6,000. So my deferred income would have up to $3,000. But again, then I can pull that money and use it that way. And so that's how you use it. And then that way, if you have variable income, you're not stressing so much about how do I make sure I've got enough to cover everything, especially in those lean months, because you've planned ahead for that and you've started building that out. Okay, so you can do that at any time. You don't actually have to be built up for income for next month, but you could start doing that and just saying, I'm going to set my budget at 5,000 and anything above that, I'm going to put into deferred income and then build it up as well to have that cushion. And so that's how you can use living on last month's income. It is such a great tool to really take that stress off of you. So I highly recommend figuring out a plan to do that, what it is you need, and believe me, whether you're a regular income person, variable, it makes such a difference. It relaxes you. It enables you to see everything all at once. So that's all I have for today. If you enjoyed that video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the like button, and don't forget as well that notification bell to be notified of our next video. So thanks and have a great day.